Welcome guys to CraftCup Lite number 37. This is round 7 and we have AiHonor spawning as the purple Protoss on the down left side, and on the upper right side we have Beastyqt spawning as the yellow Terran. The map is Shakura's Plateau, so yes, no more Xanagat Caverns and no more Metalopolis. I'm sick of them. I want other maps, and people listen to me. Now on this map, very large map, and we might actually see some micro games. I've seen a lot of Protoss players who like to take a fast expansion by building a pylon over here and a forge and some cannons behind and some gates over here and so on. I'm not really 100% sure about the building's positioning, but still I've seen it a lot of time, especially on the Night End, who by the way is not listening today unfortunately. If he is, shout out to Night End, the master Romanian Protoss who killed Huck this Sunday, I think. Or yeah, I think it was Sunday or Saturday, I forgot, never mind. Now Beastyqt finally building down his barracks, and other than that just going to scout, while the Protoss player is doing the same thing. He also scouted this area where sometimes Terran players really like to proxy down some barracks, and oh, didn't kiss. And instant orbital command, while at the same time we have a marine on the way. Beasty is going to scout on the wrong place, but yeah, he will know right now where his opponent is. I haven't seen for a long time a Protoss versus Terran when they spawn on cross position on this map. You can't actually spawn on the vertical position, so if Beastyqt is here you can't spawn over here, because this used to be a 2v2 map, and one team was on left side, one team on the right side. There we have Beastyqt he wanted to steal some minerals and he's doing it, or no, I'm getting what he's doing. He's forcing the probes to not mine from that location. Interesting, and he's now forced to move out with his SCV, even scouting these corners for some hidden stargates or something like that. And we have his opening with a 1-1-1 probably. He will either go for Hellions, but I think he will still build that starport. And as I said at the beginning of the game, Protoss player really like to take this expansion. He's still not having that wall I talk about, but still very common. There we have a starport, also a Hellion. This is usually the normal stuff to do with a Terran. When you are going for a 1-1-1 build, that means one barrack, one factory and one starport. When you have that factory, you build one Hellion which you are going to use for scouting, and then you are going to build a tech lab when that Hellion is out. In the meantime, right after the factory, you build a starport. So the starport is going to be finished at the same time with the tech lab, so you can actually swap them. So check this out, the tech lab is done, the starport is done, and he's now swapping them, and I think he's going to go for a cloaked Banshee, or I don't see a reason why he will swap if he's going to go for Medivacs, but there it is, the Banshee. And that Hellion died, and I missed his death unfortunately, but there we have a robotics facility already on the way, so that Banshee might not be that effective. We don't see the cloak anyway, so that observer will not matter that much. We have a tech lab on the factory and a tech lab on the barracks, and finally his Beastyqt is also taking his own expansion. Honor is already mining from his expansion, and let's check down the income tab. Protoss player is ahead, or actually right now they are a bit even. 26 harvesters for Beastyqt and 31 probes for AiHonor. Let's also check the APM of the player. What player is not spamming that much? It's not actually mattering. We have a siege tech and also a siege tank on the way. He's producing marines, and after that Banshee, we have the first Banshee is out, and I think it's going to get sniped out, and oh, it survived with 30 hit points, and he even has 2 kills. And I think he's going to use those Banshees into the army composition, or he's going to continue harassing. He's even moving the other Banshee over here, and I think he's going to just go back and repair this one. And he's also building down a Raven, which is a pretty useful unit, especially versus Protoss, because of that point difference drone. And no, they are going down, or not. The Banshee is out. 1 kill for the Banshee. 2 kills, and he will force. Oh, I think he will lose the Banshee. Yep, the Banshee got down. We also have an observer over here. Now he's building a reactor on this starport, and because usually at about the same time, about this time, the Protoss is transitioning into Colossus, but I don't think it's going to be this case because we have a Twilight Council, and this means either Blink Stalkers or High Templars or Dark Templars. I'm pretty happy when I see this building, because I'm pretty bored of Protoss style of play, the Colossus and so on. I hate High Templars, but okay, we have Zealot's Charge, so it's not going to be that interesting. Of course, Zealot Charge is a pretty useful add-on, especially when your opponent is going to go for tanks, because the Zealots are just going to go near the tanks where they will shoot the tanks, of course, and even the tanks are going to shoot themselves when they are shooting the Zealots. We see Beastyqt moving down, searching for that observer with the Raven and the Marines, and this is another stuff that the Raven can do besides that point defense drone I told you about. You can easily spot and kill that observer. Of course, the observer is just moving down around. Nice placement, nice rally points. We have the Banshee who's retreating, and we 5 Stalkers who try to intercept that Banshee. Unfortunately for the Banshee survived. Concussive Shells just finished, and this is a timing push, because he will push exactly at the time when the combat shield is done. We also have 2 Vikings on the way. I'm not really sure that's a good idea, but I stopped in time, haha, Night End. Templar Archives is now done, and the Vikings are going to become useless, because of course there's not going to be a Colossus on the way. From what I know, Beastyqt really hates Protoss. Let's check it out. We have some Storm is not yet done, so he might actually want to snipe those High Templars. And he's now doing the frog move with the tanks. And 2 bunkers. He's going to try to contain the Protoss. And the Protoss player is just going to move in here. I don't think Beastyqt has enough army to deal with this, but the point defense drone it did a nice job. Unfortunately, it got sniped out pretty easily. And now the Vikings are just going to be landed in order to deal. They still have a pretty decent damage, 12 every second. Also using those SCVs to repair. the Vikings and the Raven. And what AiHonor is waiting right now is for the Storm to finish. The Storm is done, but the Kadarian Amulet is not done. And Beastyqt did a pretty nice job by sniping down those two High Templars. Unfortunately, he stopped in time. He tried to scout something, but he stopped. And we don't have Kadarian Amulet researched yet. He will start it pretty soon. Beastyqt is setting up his contain over here. Picked down a bunker and some SCVs. Two High Templars warping in. Protoss ground weapons level 2 is almost done. We also have a missile turret. And let's check out the player base real fast. Beastyqt is taking down his third base. Honor knows about it with that observer, and other than that, Beastyqt is producing. He doesn't have too many production building, only 3 barracks from what I see over here, so this might not be that great. He's also supply block right now. He has a lot of gas. And finally we see an Archon that's taking down a lot of damage. And the feedback on the Raven that got instanted, or actually on the Medivac, I think. The Raven is still over here. I think it's going to get sniped out right now, or the Raven still survives. He tried to place down a point defense drone, but Beastyqt is still doing a nice damage over here. This bunker did an awesome job, and right now the Protoss is not having any army, only a High Templar, 70 foot versus 112. And now Beastyqt is just going to march out inside, but this is the force of the Protoss, just warping in more and more army. At least he's doing, Beastyqt is doing a nice job picking down the pylons. And he's happily mining from the third base, while the Protoss is just sitting down at 2 base, almost mined out at the main. And Beastyqt reacted in time to those High Templars. He already has a Ghost Academy out, and he's researching Moebius reactor. This is the counter to High Templars, of course. And the Protosphere is finally moving out. Tank shooting down already. And the point defense drone again storming his own zealots. That wasn't really that good. And Beastyqt still has an awesome force taking down and tells the GG. Beastyqt move to the grid stages again. This is how good this player is. Back to music and back to finding you a game.